Let's talk about it, y'all. I got my man MREC in the building. What's going on, King?
Peace. Rep, what's the word?
Listen, man, we're going to jump right into this. Apparently, Jim Jones addresses the backlash after foolishly comparing himself to Nas, man. Have you heard about this?
Blasphemy. Yeah, I got to win of it. You know what I mean? It's ludicrous. You know? Ludicrous.
Listen,
Nonsense.
man. I ain't going to lie. This is crazy. Because recently he was on, I guess, Fat Joe and Jada, the Joe and Jada show, I guess. They jumping out there in the podcast lane. So apparently there was another podcast where they asked this young man for real his thoughts on, Nas and Jim Jones. I'm going to play the clip because this is what sparked the conversation in the remarks from Jim Jones. Then I'm going to show y'all Jim Jones' remarks. And then we're going to get into him addressing the backlash. All right?
Yes, sir.
All right, let's get straight to it. Hold on.
Has more hits than Nas.
I'm from New Jersey. We grew up on ballin'.
That's one.
We did not grow up on one mic. Pop Champagne, Summer in Miami. That's a classic.
If I Rule the World. How's that comparable to those songs you just said?
I'm 22. Every Nas song that my man's MJ played, we said we heard that from what, Doug?
2K.
2K. Those songs are in the video game.
Okay.
I have never in my life said at a party, yo, throwing that Nas right now. If you did top 3 influential people regarding dressing, swag, Jim Jones is top 3.
But Nas influenced Jim Jones.
Cap, Chrome Hearts and the BB Simons belts and all that. Jim Jones is like top 3.
So where you put Max B?
Nobody was wearing Ed Hardy. Nobody was wearing True Religion. Nobody was wearing Chrome Hearts. All that was white biker stuff. He brought that into the culture.
Well,
And how old are you, real quick?
23.
23.
So Nas first dropped 94, right? So that's a different time period where this is not really even checking for numbers yet. He came in at a period where he's just checking for the skill of the game. You're comparing 2 different eras, and I feel like it's a little bit disingenuous.
It's the difference between being in the game and being relevant. But Jim Jones is more relevant than Nas.
Jim Jones and Nas are in the same era. Jim Jones is 48 years old. Nas is 51 years old. Jim Jones just wasn't a rapper and didn't know how to rap when Nas was rapping. No matter what Jim Jones has improved to, it's still not Nas.
But
you
know
put a
it's
V12
funny.
in a Honda, it's
You
not
know
a
it,
Lamborghini.
but you know it's funny. The last Nas album is not better than the last Jim Jones album. It's not better than the last 3 Jim Jones.
By what metric?
By bars, by everything. El Capo
is better.
The Deluxe is better than King's Disease.
You saying Jim Jones?
Did you hear that clearly, King?
I heard it clearly, and I'm gonna be honest with you, that's all cap. Because you could tell the young homie was coached.
Can't tell you one Nas record. These kids are
Hold on.
You saying Jim Jones?
Let me mute this. Apparently, this was a college student. So, just to give him grace, you know what I mean? He don't know no damn better. You know what I mean? But you're right. I ain't going to lie. What you were saying about him being coached?
He was coached. You could tell Jim Jones gave him a few dollars. Because if we talking, how is Jim Jones better than Nas? And you talking about Chrome Hearts, whatever that brand is, it's called Chrome Hearts, right?
Right. You hit it. Yeah.
Yeah, like that right there, you lost me with that alone. And at the same time, I'm going to keep it real with you. Nas from the era where, you had to influence people with your fashion as well as your bars. You feel me? And the era I'm from, and we from that same era, I ain't never heard nobody say, yo, I ain't gonna front. Jim Jones, you know what I'm saying? He got it on the fashion. You dig what I'm saying? Because at first, when they came with that whole, that biker swag, you dig? Niggas is looking at them crazy. You know what I'm saying? Wearing them tight ass pants with those, with the chain going from, what is it? The belt.
Right. The scar chain.
Belt hoops.
Right. The little bike chain. Yeah.
Yeah. That never was like something that New York City niggas was jacking. You feel me?
Shit,
Like
even
real shit.
Even with Cam rocking the pink and all of that, everybody wasn't rocking that at the time. You know, looking back, they'll act like they was fucking with it, but during the time, everybody was not rocking with the colors and all that shit. That was something that they did.
Exactly. You hit it right on the nail. That's something that they did. Okay, then let's get to the bars, right? Because first of all, you know, that fashion thing, I don't even know who gassed them to make it seem like you that fly nigga from New York City. Nah, that's not the case. I'm gonna be honest. You know what I mean?
I mean, you know, he's one of them ones that people acknowledge. You know what I'm saying? We can't front on that, but let's not get too crazy outside of rap. You know what I mean? But before we get into, you know what I'm saying, the conversation behind it, let's hear Jim himself. So that way the people don't, you know, take our words and think we didn't say exactly what we heard. So y'all listen to this for yourself.
Let's get it.
This is the Joe and Jada show. If y'all want to see the full clip, I'll put the link in the description. All right? All right.
Saw a clip on Instagram where a young kid was comparing you to Nas and saying that you got
that's my young boy.
Big hits.
He's wild.
Yo, he looked to you. He learned how to wear the BB Simon belt from you. He got his swag. Like, how crazy is that? Because in my era, you know what I'm saying? Nas is like a god.
In my era too. I mean,
so to be compared,
let me
that young kid out.
Let me.
He was young, and we loved that he loved Jim Jones. I want you to break it down.
Let's break this down. I admired Nas, but remember Nas' first record, The Barbecue, came out when I was in 11th grade. So Nas was my idol when I was young. Like you did, came to dressing, the wordplay, the music, everything. I was a superior Nas fan. Period. I'd never take that away from him. But then as I got in the game, you got to realize that your rivals would be idols, and not to take anything away from that. I developed my own style and my own lane that these kids start to gravitate towards the same way I gravitated towards Nas when I was younger and things like that. It's a whole different generation. We're talking about 94, 93. I was in 11th grade. Nigga, it's 2025. There's a big gap there, you know what I mean? And I want people to understand that. So when Shorty's telling people that, yeah, he's 20-some years old, that goes to show the part of the era that he's in, that I came into light and started going crazy, that these kids love me. They don't really know who Nas is. If he's 22, he's born in 03.
Not all of them. Some of them know. But
you know what I mean?
A lot of them know.
Yes.
But it's the era.
Some music.
No.
Some kids that.
No, I love that.
There's some kids that love hip hop.
20, so I mean,
but your kid, he's your son.
He's your son.
He's your son.
No, but he knows.
My son can't tell you one Nas record. You heard? Like, let's keep it a buck here.
Yeah, but
like, let's keep it a buck. You heard? Let's keep it a buck because you'll bring it up. There must be some type of misconception or what's that word? When it comes to Jim Jones and what Jim Jones have done in this game. A lot of these rappers
made them take the darkies off.
A lot of these rappers have done a tremendous job, and I take nothing away from them. But they forget I got a hell of a catalog. Me, Jim Jones, myself, gold records, platinum records, gold albums, platinum albums. No, me, Jim Jones. No Diplomats, no nobody else. Me, Jim Jones. Check my track record, then check everybody else's track record. Then go to the billboards and check all my entries, then check all them niggas' entries and shit like that. And I'm not taking nothing away from nobody, but I hear the comparisons and the niggas be trying to act funny when it comes. No, I've been spanking a lot of this shit. I'm talking about the industry. I've been putting on. So let's not get into that where we get into numbers and I got to show you the statistic of what I've done. You heard to what other people was done. You heard, and if you want to go to the billboard entries, pull up Nas billboard entries, then pull up my billboard entries.
Listen, we can't compare the two. What I'm trying to tell you is
I want to go there. Hold on. I want to go down the line now because now we going down the line. He's a rapper. And I'm a rapper.
Listen,
no. Let's go statistically.
It feels great.
No, but I want to go statistically because because when people be like,
I feel the same way. We all feel the same way.
And forget about the numbers. You heard? numbers back up.
Let me step up to the forefront. Us in the music of hip hop culture have a problem. Is a thing, and there's nothing. The world goes off numbers, but in hip hop, we don't pay enough homage to those before us the correct way, and sometimes it's even myself. So it gets no other genre of music. Fucking, I don't even know who to use.
Yeah, but you gotta understand, hip hop is like basketball.
Jelly Roll's never gonna say that about
hip hop. Is like basketball.
Jelly Roll.
John Morant get on the court with LeBron. He's going to kill LeBron. So this is what this is
any
about.
Song, any of that shit is murder.
This is what this is
but
about.
That don't got nothing
There's
to
nothing
do
that
with
could. There's never is me. Putting me up against anybody. I'm taking me every time. Every time.
Okay,
every
but
time.
let me say something though, Jim. Let me say,
every category,
Jim,
I get busy.
You started off saying you grew up watching Nas.
Of
The
course,
only
I
problem,
didn't take that away from
the
him.
only situation I'm saying now to you, right? There is no situation.
I always tell people
kids
that
should
story.
worship you.
You fucking started.
No, I'm not doing this. I'm not doing. I did not know it was going
mad
there.
at you because you're really friends with him.
He gonna be mad at you.
Not me. Yeah, I don't know him. You heard?
Oh, he's a beautiful guy.
I understand
That's my
that.
brother.
No, no, he's a
But he
beautiful
gonna be
guy.
mad at you.
Well, I'm not
bring
mad
my
at
name
me.
up in that conversation, bro. Like,
He
come
just
on,
asked
bro.
Yeah, but we didn't know all that.
What he
We
do
always-
all the time, something
not
he
gonna
saw on
put
the
me-
internet.
You're not
That
gonna
he
mention
didn't
me
have to
next to
ask.
nobody. I'm not gonna talk
You
my
didn't
shit.
have to do that.
I'm gonna
bruh.
pop mines every
It's your
time. You
fault.
heard?
Can we go?
I just
Can we
told
go?
the people
Good audio.
you're not doing
You heard?
none of that. And
I'm
what
looking.
did he do?
Good
He went
audio.
over there and
You
did-
heard?
Listen.
Niggas don't even know about the audio.
Can we
you heard?
talk? Can
You
we
heard?
talk? Can we talk
Yeah,
about?
do it.
All right. I love.
All right, y'all. I just wanted y'all to hear it yourselves, cause y'all know how this shit go. People add a little extra on it. Listen, man. This man said, do the research. What Fredro say? Do your Googles, man. What's your thoughts, Ray?
He's supposed to have confidence in his craft, but let's do this. If him and Nas was to get on a song today, tomorrow, I'm putting 6 figures on Nas. How much money you putting on Jim Jones? Rip.
After seeing that performance in the verses, what they said, they body jumped in a body bag. Then they took that body bag and put it in a body bag. I mean, come on, man. That was one of the worst performances we've ever seen in a fight in which the styles didn't mesh. And ironically, the guy who caught the body sitting right beside him.
This is what I'm saying. This is what I'm saying. You couldn't even, and Jada is a beast. You know what I'm saying? He's top 5 in terms of, lyricists in New York City, or just in general. That's another thing. New York City is the Mecca. It is what it is. We'll have that conversation another time. But he's top 5 lyricists. And Nas is above Kiss. And you couldn't do nothing with Kiss in the locks. What you think you're going to do with the GOAT, the Billy GOAT? You feel me? Let's see what he had to say on his Instagram. And ironically, when that podcast, what's the name of that podcast? Because we going to do the knowledge real quick. What's the name of that podcast?
The Joe and Jada show.
No, the podcast that the young
Oh,
boy
yeah. That was D-Rec. D-Rec.
Okay. I mean, that right there alone.
I mean, listen, everybody's getting in the content space. It's not, it's a conversation that pops up. We heard it with 21 Savage and Nas. You get what I'm saying? 21 Savage got caught in the conversation online, said some things people, took the wrong way. Of course, it ended up with them doing a record. You know what I mean? Now, in the clip with Joe, he said it off the rip. Yo, it's no comparison. He told Jim to his face. It's no comparison. That's Nas, fam. And it ain't got nothing to do with outfits. It ain't got nothing to do with
what I'm saying.
accessories. It's about his pen.
Listen, if Jay-Z couldn't even stand in the same room as Nas, what makes you think Jim Jones got a chance? With Jim Jones, what make you think you got a chance?
That's what I'm saying. It's one thing to believe in your talent, your skill set, your capability as an MC. But you got other MCs up there who bodied you off the rip. And like I said, shout out to Jada, because he's one of the most humblest MCs. It's crazy.
And that's the homie.
You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Just locks in general.
That's my brother.
They solid. You know what I mean? Ain't no weakness. But let's get into Jim Jones. He responded to the backlash. He made a post about 6 hours ago. And in the post, Jim Jones says, y'all do know after I get y'all in your feelings on social media, I go back to living a real good life. Sidebar, going viral is a major tool in the entertainment business. Don't get stuck in yesterday's grind. Stay current, my friend.
Don't backpedal now, Capo. That sound like you backpedaling. What that sound like to you, Rip?
Listen, man, the people have spoken.
There
you sound crazy. Now this is a strategy. Ain't no damn strategy to ignorance, man. Shut up.
Come on, man.
You got somebody right under you saying your son not knowing a Nas song is not a flex. You got to relax. Exactly, man.
Now let's speak on that. Him saying that, it's a testament to who you are as somebody who is a part of the culture, not teaching your son about who are those guys, who are those ones. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's your job, that's your duty. I got daughters and they know what time it is.
Come on.
They know the GOATs. They know Nas, they know Biggie, they know Jay-Z. You dig? And they in their 20s. Early.
And it wasn't always like that in hip hop. You had so many people shouting out other MCs on records. That was the normal way.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, look at Tribe. They had so many people on the album cover that you wanted to be on the cover. You know what I mean? It was known to big up other MCs who are holding the culture down. So it's the same with Clips. Everybody's upset at the response that, Clips are getting, because people have been tired of the bullshit that we've been getting, that y'all been force feeding us for so long, telling us this is the greatest shit we've ever heard, when in reality it's not. And we've been saying it's not for the longest time. So now that the real MCs are back outside, Nas is one of them who spearheaded this whole movement.
Come on now.
People hated on the King's Disease series in the beginning. Oh, it don't sound right. They still want that him and Premier sound. You know what I mean? They got the Kanye album. It didn't go the way that they thought it was going to go.
Correct.
But come on, y'all. You telling me that the run that Nas and Hit Boy had from Magic, King's Disease series, you telling me this shit wasn't fire?
Impeccable.
Come on.
Impeccable. They put out, I think, 4 albums in how long?
It might be 6, fam.
Oh, my bad. 6 albums in 4 years. Something like that. My bad. Yeah,
come
on.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Like, yo, we got to recognize those who really doing the work. Nas ain't just rapping either. He just did some shit with Slick Rick. Shout out to him. He got a new album out, Victory. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, Nas is very active, creating the fun for the elders in hip hop. So that way they can have something to take care of their family. I mean, it's more than just outfits. You know what I mean? Jim Jones, you was looking like a damn fool up there on that runway. When see-through, lace-through clothing and all that. Come on, man.
Come on. Now let's do this. Do Jim Jones have a classic album like that the culture consider a classic? Nas have multiple classic. We could go Illmatic. It Was Written. And then you got some people double backing now. And I said this 10 years back. A lot of people saying It Was Written is better than Illmatic. You dig what I'm saying?
I ain't gonna lie. Like, to be fair, Jim Jones, Dipset, they always had their beef with Hove and Nas. It's been going on for years. You've always heard some slick shit, especially from Jim about Nas. You know what I mean? It's something about Nas that strikes a chord. You know what I mean? It's just at the end of the day, there's levels to this shit. And if there was the GOAT table, the Mount Rushmore, some would argue that Nas belong on that.
Oh, that's a fact.
You would never.
You can't dispute that.
Of course. But when it comes to Jim on the other hand,
you ain't on nobody Mount Rushmore. You know what I'm saying? Maybe for a most improved rapper, we give you that. You definitely stepped it up.
Hip hop fashion innovators. Okay. If you ain't in the top 5, then maybe you unsung hero out of, because again, you got A$AP Rocky, you got Kanye. I feel like those are the one who pretty much harped on it. There was a time when the people gave you that title. You didn't say it about yourself. You didn't have to go around telling people I'm this and I'm that. The people gave you that.
That's a fact.
But when I'm looking at, shout out to AI, because all you got to do is ask it a question. I mean, you ask the question of, does he have a classic album? I mean, his best, they said he did 44,000 copies in his first week. So it's like, come on, man. He's had moments within the rap game. And then you want to
compare numbers, like you don't even have the stats that you proclaiming that you got.
No. Nor the impact from your bars. Fam.
Come on, bro.
That's the whole thing. From your bars. All that other shit is irrelevant. You know what I mean? It's like seeing a nigga on the court, he wearing all of the gear, but when he go out there, he trash.
It's just a different conversation. You're not in that conversation. I know you want to put yourself there, but that's why he made the comment he made, because when it came back, it wasn't in his favor. And now if 5 people said Jim Jones is better than Nas lyrically, that's a stretch, but that probably didn't even come back. He probably saw that it was a landslide. That's why he made the comment he made, backpedaling. So, but it is what it is.
Like I said, fam, we got to start being honest. You know what I mean? We speak on the rap game because it's easy. This new age media found a way to create narratives. You can say Vlad did it with the Nas is the worst beat picker. There's people who are responsible.
Who is Vlad to say that?
It's a lot of people that you could say that same thing to. Who are you to set this as the? Because again, young homie might feel like that, but like you said, you feel like he was coached.
Damn sure was coached. This is a fact. Because he said, "Oh, that's my young boy." You ain't hear him say that?
Yeah. I mean, again, 20 years ago, 2005. I mean, come on, y'all. I don't remember any hits from when I was 2 or 3. To be honest, I ain't started listening to shit until about 6. You know what I mean? 7. You start getting a little older, so it's not like you like, yo. I remember when Jimmy was outside. Like, stop. Come on, man. Rap game changed drastically.
When Nas was considered the GOAT from, all right, let's do this. First of all, when Illmatic came out, he was 18. So that means he had to write and record those songs when he was 16, 17. So you at almost 50, 49 or whatever, 48, 49. Still can't mess with a 16-year-old Nas.
No.
And we're going to leave it as that.
I mean, and again, shout out to Jim for still being relevant in his own way. You get what I mean? Correct. We ain't taking nothing from your contributions in the rap game.
Nah.
But when you start, they say comparison is the thief of joy. You get what I mean? When you start to compare your stats, your impact against arguably one of the greatest MCs of all time, I think you need to step back into that booth, because only the respected MCs are going to acknowledge it. You get what I mean? It'll be universal. The same way when they mention Jada, you ain't never heard nobody say, yo, that shit phony. Get out. Jada top 5. Who? You ain't never heard that. It's like universally known.
Yeah.
No, you can't.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? And I think another thing we got to talk about is the fact that Pusha and the Clips is on this run right now promoting the project. Man. And Jim, he sent shots at Pusha, but Pusha didn't respond back.
Because Pusha know you're not like that.
Exactly. That struck a nerve. That's really what all this is about. I
Like
don't think
you in
really
that Travis Scott category when it come to Pusha.
Yeah.
Because you got to remember, respectfully, Jim Jones, you was Cam hype man.
And that's a touchy subject right there, because him and Cam, they ain't even on the best of terms right now. At least, you know.
It is what it is. They got to work that out. But we talking facts here. He wasn't Cam hype man.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. I'm just saying, just the mere mention of Cam at this point, you know, he's trying to do everything he can to establish his own history. This is what I mean, you know, because you can't not mention Jim without mentioning Dipset or Cam. It's no way around it. You did a lot to keep the flag going, but you wasn't the only person. And this is why it's hard for people to give him that much credit when you know you had a whole team of people that you leaned on during that time that don't get the credit, that don't get the just due. This is why it's tough when niggas don't tell the truth. You know what I mean? About the real.
Now, I see you got Jim Jones albums on the screen.
Mm-hmm.
He got a lot of catalog.
Yeah.
But is any of these projects a classic?
The closest, from what I remember commercially, would be The Hustler's Poem, P-O-M-E.
Okay.
And
some joints on there.
You feel me? As far as the radio hits that homie was referring to. You know what I mean? You still got Harlem Diary over something. I remember that. But again, to me, those is like best records. You know, the shit with Trey songs.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's what matters. You know what I mean? You can put out a bunch of mixtapes, but Nas came out during a time when your albums had to be A1.
This is what I'm saying.
Expectations. I mean, he changed the landscape of rap after Nas came out. To this day, I mean, he's created, like, you know, of course, you can't get too before Nas, it's Rakim.
There you go.
Let me just say that. Come on.
The teacher and the student.
Come on. You ain't never heard somebody say Rakim ain't like that with the pen. Never.
Come on.
Never. With these garbage rappers, respectfully, y'all making jingles. It's not it's not the same. It's a difference.
Not the same, man. And
shout out to Jim for doing what he got to do. But come on.
Correct.
You ain't dropping no damn Illmatic, Stillmatic.
Nah.
Come on.
You ain't got a king disease.
No. He ain't even got a damn Lost tapes. Come on. Stop. And we like, it's not even, again, you know, Jay-Z put that out there like that to have people front on Nas. You know what I mean?
Of course.
But look at their catalog today. Come on, yo. Stop.
Impeccable.
Maybe God's son in Nostradamus. You know what I'm saying?
But them joints got some joints on there too. You know what I'm saying?
Of course. Even if I go into the records, I'm just saying, if there was anything close, I mean, hip hop is dead. Like I said, it's a lot of Streets Disciple. I mean, come on, yo. Like, real hip hop fans don't even have to do this because they naming it off the dome. Look, the Lost tapes from 02. Like, stop
smoking anything Jim Jones did.
Come on.
Like, this is facts.
But
the Lost tapes is a classic. Like, unreleased joints that they just put out there as a mixtape is a classic.
No, that's a fact. Man. I mean, but look at the run. He had arguably one of the greatest runs in hip hop. From Illmatic, It Was Written, Stillmatic, I Am. Yo, it's like you throwing rocks at the sun. Like, stop,
Come on, man.
You're not even close. And if the shit he's doing in his second childhood, shout out to Nas, he's showing y'all, the vets, this is how you do it. Stop worrying about the numbers and the streams and the commercial success. Just go put out dope music.
That's it.
And since then, we've seen every legend come back outside. I just said Slick Rick dropped an album. Guess who he signed to? Guess who he signed to, yo?
Nas. Well, that's what is that called? The label
Mass Appeal.
Mass Appeal.
Pull it up. Yeah, come on.
Yeah.
This is what I'm saying.
Come on now.
It's levels. You wanna be around much longer in the rap game? Shit, you better put out some talent, Jim Jones, because rapping ain't gonna work no more. It's hard.
But he put out talent, but they not on that level.
I listened to the oh shit. Damn. I'm gonna have to edit this out. Yeah. God, damn. I listened to the to Jim Jones' latest album. He definitely has some young, artists on there doing their thing. Shout out to them and what he's doing. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But it's levels to this, man. Imagine being able to sign, one of your GOATs. That's crazy, fam.
Crazy.
Imagine that. Being able to sign KRS-One to Rippin' Records. Wrecking Records. Come on. That in itself is legendary, fam.
That's a fact.
You got projects coming out, but, like I said, shout out to Nas because he's showing y'all how you're supposed to do this shit and continue to stay relevant. Like I said, we ain't going to stay on the topic too long, but come on, man. You're not going to sit here and tell me Jim Jones, as an MC, I ain't mad at him for saying that he feels like he's better as an MC. We're not saying that, but come on, talking about Billboard entries and resumes, get the hell out of here.
You're supposed to be confident in your craft. You know what I'm saying? You're supposed to believe you're the best. But it's another thing to be delusional too. You know what I'm saying? Saying that you better than somebody that taught you how to do what you do. You said you was inspired by Nas. You know what I mean? But that's where we at in this era. I think Jada spoke on it. Like, you just got to pay homage. You feel me? Like, just use that as a tool. Yo, Nas show me how to get nice like this. Or, yo, I'm doing this because of Nas and Jay-Z and Rakim and whoever. You don't get in this space and, of course, you very much improve. But you don't do that to try to shit on the ones that came before you. That's blasphemy. Right.
And let's be real. If you had a ghostwriter, sit your ass down. You don't deserve to be in this conversation.
That's a fact.
Come on now. That's what I'm saying. If you're going to be honest, be honest. I'm not saying Jim ain't never write his bars, but like you said, you had Mason, other people teach you how to rap. You know what I'm saying? Nas came out swinging and was going at the tops of the food chain. Hold on.
I'm glad you said that. Jim Jones, you not better than Mace. Mace will smoke you. On a light day. It's off his freestyles. He'll smoke your catalog. And we're going to leave it as that. Brought it back to Harlem.
Come on. This is what I'm saying, yo. But y'all let us know your thoughts on Jim Jones and his comments about him being better than Nas, or arguably on the same level as Nas. I mean, I'm trying to give him a little grace because I get it. As an MC, you never want to say someone is better than you, but come on, man. We got a resume, we got history.
You gotta be honest, man.
Yes. And that's not, nothing wrong with saying Nas is one of them because he really just one of one. There ain't too many Nas in the rap game. Come on. This is what makes it, even special because, this ain't low hanging fruit. You talking about one of them. You know what I mean? If you want to argue with Jay, that's crazy because that ain't going to work. So who else do you try to steal off? That's why I say I really think this is about Pusha T. That's just me. I think because Pusha didn't respond. He didn't put a verse, a bar aimed at Jim in none of these records. I think that's what all of this is really about.
Now, he wants to be in that conversation, so he's trying to get in a back and forth with a Nas or a Pusha T, a Styles P. You see the pattern? You feel me? Like, and even with that, everybody knows Styles gonna smoke you. He just did at the verses.
That's what I'm saying. You sitting down.
Conversation.
Go get your get back. He right there, sitting right beside you.
Grand opening, grand closing. Next topic.
But all right, y'all. This is MREC and Rip. We out, man. Y'all know how to tap in with the MREC. You know what I mean? This platform. If you don't know, you better get acquainted. One of the forefathers of this shit. Because we moving in the era where people rewriting their own history.
Correct.
The irony of this conversation. So, like I said it many a times. If it wasn't no MREC, shit, you wouldn't have a Forgotten Kings, and it's a lot of other people that should be saying the same shit. You know what I mean? But
I appreciate
I'm
that.
from the era where we gave props to those who paved the way. This is a new day in this content space. And niggas ain't gonna tell me that somebody like yourself who been in here for how long you been doing content, right?
It's about to be 2 decades.
Oh, all right.
If not that already.
Okay.
You know?
So that means when homie was outside at one, that little college student 20 years ago bumping Jim Jones in his diaper, Rec was doing content. Okay.
That's a fact.
That's what I'm saying. I was in high school, okay, learning about this shit. Ironically, it saved my life. That's the funny thing about it. The shit I learned then. When Jim was on the radio putting out hits, I was in high school trying to figure out how to, do this shit. And the skills I acquired during them years is the reason why Forgotten Kings TV is the best YouTube channel platform, however you want to write it up, coming out of Baltimore.
That's a fact. I'm co-signing that.
So with that being said, we out, y'all. Peace.
Peace.